So our two guests today are people who are very well known throughout the world, but what the world doesn't know is that they're working on a very personal film together. Robert De Niro is an actor's actor. He's one of the most important artists of his generation. All right. All right, and his accolades are many, but among his professional achievements, he has won 2 Oscars. He has been awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He's a Kennedy Center honoree and has received Lifetime Achievement Awards from SAG and the Golden Globes. Furthermore, if that weren't enough, Bob established the Tribeca Film Festival after 9/11 to help revitalize Lower Manhattan. JR is an artist and filmmaker. As you saw outside, he turns streets and alleys into galleries and people into monumental portraits. In 2011, JR won the TED Prize, which allowed him to start the Inside Out project. At that time, that's when we got to meet him, and we started working together to bring 2 traveling photo booths crisscrossing the United States. So when these 2 amazing creators get together, something very special happens. In 2015, they collaborated on Ellis, a short, very beautiful film. Please watch it if you haven't seen it, that honors immigrants who passed through Ellis Island. And then more recently, Bob opened his father's artist studio in Soho. His father was a great artist, known to many of you. The studio was kept intact for 30 years, largely unseen, and then he revealed to JR the father's journals and paintings, and JR filmed that moment. And it was from this intimate day that their new collaboration began. They're now making a film, so that grew into a much larger film project. It's been underway for 4 years, and it's touching areas of Bob's life, his art, and his deep humanity. Welcome, Bob and JR.
Thank you, Laurene.
Thanks for being here. So I'm going to start with JR to talk about this film. No, I'm looking at you.
I thought you were talking to somebody else.
You thought there was someone standing behind you? There's not. No. So I'll start with JR. So maybe you can share with us the vision of the film. I just talked briefly about the genesis of it, but talk a little bit about your vision as a filmmaker and how that's evolved over the last 4 years as you're filming.
Well, you know, I've met Bob when I moved to New York 15 years ago, and he took me on so many of the sets and places where he was working. And so I was very lucky for all those years of friendship and of work. Also, we've done a few projects together, but Ellis was really the first time I've done a little piece of fiction, which at the time we made for free, and we gave it to any platform and any community that wanted to speak about immigration. And so that was our intention in this film. To be honest, this project, we didn't know what we were walking into, because I had really been coming to his father's studios a few times before that. But somehow that day we wanted to film, and because we were putting an exhibition for Robert De Niro Sr., Bob's father, in New York. And I had just asked Bob if he was willing to spend 20 minutes for the first time, maybe showing me a bit more than just walking through the studio. And instead of staying 15, 20 minutes, we spent 6 hours. Wow. And so I had never seen him like that, of like suddenly like asking me, what have you read in the journals? And I asked him, but wait, haven't you read the journals? And he's like, no, I haven't read them. So suddenly I felt, oh, okay, so what are we doing here? I mean, do you want me to...
Is it at that point you grabbed your camera?
No, we were already filming, but it's just that I was not prepared. I was really not prepared. So I said, would you mind if we come here tomorrow again? And the next day we spent another 5 hours. Now, I've asked him, why, what are we doing exactly? Why are you've kept this for all these years, but why haven't you opened those journals? And we've opened doors that day and since then that I've never thought we'd open, and that's the beginning of the film in a way.
And Bob, So now that this is an ongoing film project, if you think about this compared to your extraordinary body of work, how does this film, which is about you and your inner life and coming to terms with the past, how is being filmed in this different from every other project you've been in?
Well, it's me, so I'm not playing a character or anything. I'm just sort of, it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes I don't want to do it, you know, and JR has to sort of, just prod me, do it. I don't want to do it. Other times I do it once I get into it and so on. And it's a process. I just think that you go through, if you leave it where it's indefinite, where there's no deadline, things can happen that you'd never expect. It can happen the other way too, but it's somehow, for me, it felt more interesting to do it
Talk about that a little bit, because I think that's such an important part of this project, that there is no time constraint. You're not working on a deadline. How does that change how stories evolve? How is that the factor?
Well, I'm trying to do what JR wants to do in his telling of the story. I'm just say, you know, what do you want? Point me in this direction. I'll do that, and so on. And at the same time, there are things that will come out when I'm doing it that then I never thought of doing, or maybe I use one of my kids in things that's really nice and sweet and just terrific. And so there's no, I'm following the structure that he wants, what he's created, but at the same time, things come out, and I don't know even now, you know, where we don't.
So when you have a day when you're filming, how much structure is there? How much direction is there? And how much of it is organically unfolding?
Well, he has he wants to shoot certain things.
Sure.
He'll say, I want to shoot certain things, you in the foreground, shooting buildings of movies that you've done on buildings in New York and stuff at night. And so I'm there, not doing much. Maybe I'll narrate, maybe I'll speak, maybe it feels right, or I guess not. We didn't really do that. Sometimes I'm sleeping.
He sleeps really well. I have the best scene of him sleeping. Could get an Oscar for that.
I like to sleep. Because I probably don't get enough.
Well, that's going to be riveting.
But you know, but that's actually, like Bob said, he's not acting, okay? And this is something, and again, you're seeing us now in the process, okay?
Yeah.
We're in the process, which means that sometimes we really know what we're doing, sometimes we really don't know what we're doing. And I admire Bob for that, because he have really seen me coming on set sometime, not knowing what I was about to do, and still, and I've asked him, I say, Bob, I don't understand. You've worked with the greatest director of all times, over generations.
Yeah.
Here you are with a kid who sometimes shows up and is like, actually, I thought of this, it doesn't work. We're trying to put an image of your mother underwater, and then we're sinking the boat right now, and he's like, oh, all right, I'll just come back in an hour, you let me know if it's okay. And really, and he would. Or like I call him, I was in Mauritania one day, and I called him because I had a dream. I said, Baba, I saw you were in the mountains, and you're carrying the body of your father over like 90 feet long in the mountain. Can we do this? And he's like, oh boy, wait, where are you said? And actually, then we would go and film that. So we go in those very depth, adventures where sometimes from a vision, we've tried to put it into reality. And it's true, it's under the fact that I'm asking him to do it, but then I'm really lost in boundaries of like, when does this impact him really personally in what I'm trying to do, and when he's not impacted by it. And we have those discussions openly about it, but the process is the art, because in the process, sometimes we step upon life, about memories, about nostalgia, about things that touch us deeper than we thought. And the journey he's doing now to look back, which he had never done in this way before, and even if he had kept everything, all the letters his mother ever wrote him, and his reply to his mother, all the painting. The studio of his father is intact, even the cigarette on the ashtray, the clothes coming back from the laundry, everything is there. And when you're there, you're like, okay, but so how do you, how do you keep all that but never look into any drawer or into anything? And doing that must hit him in a way, and I'm speaking in front of him, that I can't even comprehend to the full.
Absolutely, because it's psychological. You're exploring your inner life, and you're doing it on film. And does it get to a point ever where it's terribly uncomfortable and you want to stop or you need a break?
No, it's not. It's a little here or there maybe, but it's not that. JR's not invasive in that way. It's just we let things go. That's why he lets things go where something might happen that none of us thought of. And it happens, something I'll say or do or whatever it is, that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's good, sometimes it could be very special, other times it could be, nothing, or just sort of ordinary.
But it's an enormous amount of trust that you've placed in JR, and it sounds like it's only possible because of your friendship. And so JR, not only is this an enormous opportunity, but it's also a huge responsibility that you're carrying this trust and this exploration into your friend's psyche. So how do you navigate that responsibility?
We had clear discussions at the beginning. We know each other for so long, and we had spent, very special quality time. I've learned. I'm so grateful. He doesn't like me to say that, and I pretend he's not here. But the way he impacted my life as a young artist. I moved to New York. I was 27.
Yeah.
And when I met him, I just took a photo with him, and then I thought, I would never see him again. And then he was like, just take your camera. Maybe tomorrow you meet me there. I'll give you the address tomorrow morning. And the next day, I'm on a set with Scorsese, DiCaprio, and this, and I'm like, and they're all like, and Marty's like, all right, kid, just go around, do whatever you need. And everybody's like, what is this kid doing with his camera on a closed set? I don't know what he had in mind. Bob functioned by instinct, and I admire that so much because I've asked him many times, why do you, even on that set, while he's shooting, but why do you need me here? And he's like, no, I just don't know, just be. And
wow, that's
I
so
don't
generous.
think even one day he thought we would do this film together. But to come back to your question, of course, every day I wake up knowing that these moments together in this process are so precious that I'll be thinking of them for the rest of my life. And as we do this, I never take any for granted, even being here with you too, I come from nowhere. I didn't even know, there was art and museums and all this. So I really enjoy every single thing that comes in my life.
Beautiful.
But being able to be with him, to witness how he approached life, to meet his family. And one day he really told me, like he just said today, sometime it's going to be painful, sometime I'm going to be moody, and I won't want to do it, but you have to push me. That day, I really changed something, and I became more, we got to do this. It's not going to be, it's not going to feel nice. You might sit on a barge for 7 hours in the cold with, no water, but we're doing it. And to be honest, he have always shown up on time, always done it, always came into the process. And as artists, this is the most amazing thing. I've heard him say it on stage once, when he starts a project, he never quit. And that's something that's like, it gives me even an even bigger responsibility because trust is one thing, and that's the most precious thing. So I would never want to do anything in this film that goes against his will. But his trust never gives me boundary. He's like, dude, let's try. But in the making, I'm showing him, and I'm trying to understand in between words where we're actually going. And I have to say that not knowing where we're going, it's the most amazing experience we could ever dream of. And I'm sure you know that because we have a lot of people here that have created amazing things, and sometimes all of our journey starts with the unknown. And this is a territory that we love going into. We're literally going into the unknown. And sometimes it feels amazing, and sometimes it feels really bad, and we fail, and we're like, why did we do this? But it's okay. And there's morning when I wake up and I feel I have this film, and there's other morning I don't. But he's always there, and he's always like, all right, we'll start again.
It's so beautiful. There are no films that are made like this. This is truly a remarkable endeavor. And so much of the imagery and the film technique is emotionally evocative. And so as we wrap up this conversation, I'd love to hear from both of you. What do you want people to feel when they watch this film?
Well, what I would think is that they feel they get what I'm feeling, and maybe things that I didn't even think of. I don't know. You can't, of course, tell people what to feel.
No.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm just doing it. He puts it together and all that, and then it's a certain feeling, sentiment comes out, which is, I like it.
Bob, and how much of this film are you doing for your children? Is that a big motivation for you?
Yeah, I love seeing the kids in it, especially the way they are in it. Yeah, as much as whenever it feels right to have it, it's great.
Seems like a big gift to give to them. Seems like a big gift that you'll give to them.
Yeah.
Like all the scenes with Elliot.
Oh, yeah.
Painting, it's so special.
Yeah.
I get Elliot, which is his son that we see painting in there. Sometimes I ask him to ask him questions. And it's beautiful, because the phone is a way for Bob to communicate with his father. So Bob goes on the roof and speaks with his dad, and that's the way he communicates with him. And but to Elliot, who sometimes comes and say hello, he asked him one question, which is it true that your dad is trying to contact you? And Bob had to answer to him truly, because he wouldn't understand it, differently, and the metaphor of it could be disturbing. And so your connection with him and the way you interact is really special.
And JR, how about you? Yep.
You see what I have sometimes?
He's very...
No, I'm glad there's witness.
Exactly.
I'm like sweating by myself, but the witness.
Now people can...
But now there are people we know.
When people see the finished product, they're going to think it's a miracle.
Two things I'll say. Bob is known for saying few words, and I have to say I've spoke to like incredible writers that have worked with him, and on films, and they said we've tried sometime writing 3-page things, and Bob would come and say, "Oh, this I'll do it in one eye," and then the director, this is a story with Michael Mann, would say, all right, okay, you boss. I'll learn the page, we'll do the 3-page thing, and then we'll try your way, Bob. And each time they would use the Bob way of doing it, which is saying nothing and just, sharing the emotion. That's his talent. So first years I was struggling to get words of him, and then I realized, no, the beauty is actually into the silence. Now, what I'll say is, this is a very deep journey, that it's way darker than I imagined, because when you go back in your past, you realize the mistakes of your parents or the stories of your parents or the journey of your parents is impacting you no matter what you do. And if you're trying to go and not caring about it, it will come and hunt you back at some point in life. And that is something that I'm too young to even comprehend. And so when I was like, well, I'm kind of doing this on him, one day he said, no, kid, you're also doing this on yourself. And I think at 4 years into the process, I'm only starting to grasp the dimension, the courage it takes him to go through this, to really open the pages and to not go look left and right, but go dead center and go, let's look into all of it. And I'm trying to do that on myself at the same time, just to even try to comprehend. But this is the hardest journey in life. This is something that might take me decades. And
well,
to walk
you're not a
through
trained psychotherapist, but you're acting like one. Bob's putting a lot of trust in this untrained physician. But it seems like it's coming out well. All right, the final question for you, JR, being the filmmaker, when do you think the film will be done?
I wouldn't go so far. I'll say something about that. I wouldn't go so far. But sometimes the thing is, when you don't know you don't know what's going to happen with something, and you can't make it, you can't force it. So something could happen. We could say, let's just do one more day, and just you never know. Nothing could happen, but something could happen. So that's why I like to feel that sort of, eternal, if you will. I know that's maybe a little, no, it's a good word, eternal sense of, it's just life going on, passing on, and there'll be ups and downs, there'll be this and that. You just don't know. That, to me, is what would be ultimately interesting, and you just don't know. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you know?
No. Look, at first I was like, when we started, I was like, Bob, okay, what should we do? Is this a year thing? Is this 2? And then he said, yeah, this is like what we're doing now. And sometimes I wake up and I'm like, well, he must know everything what we're about to do, but he doesn't tell me. I'm waking up sometime, I'm making him sleep in the film just to go into dreams. And then I realize years later that actually, from reading the journal, that his mother was narcoleptic. And then suddenly you connected with science. One day I opened the window from my bedroom in New York, where I lived for 15 years, and I realized that from my window, when it's winter and all the trees have no leaves, I see the apartment where his mother and his father lived, and his father died in that apartment. And I'm like, all these weird things. I went and seen mediums and people like on routes that I would have never believed to find out about things, and then it all turned out to be true. We're on this journey of an unknown, and I have to say, the longer it lasts, the better. But of course, like you said, those films never get made anymore, because anyone could do an amazing film about his life. You get all those footage, and you just go on through this life. But we're going the hard way, and I think that's his parents were living like that. They were never making any concessions. They were artists in the 60s that were believing so strongly in their art and would do anything for it. And even if it was hard and they wouldn't make any money. And I think we share that of the, no compromise. Let's go and let's make an art piece in whichever form it will be, but make something that's different, that doesn't get made anymore.
It's very zen. In 2040, I hope you're all around. We're going to be screening it. But I want to thank you both for coming. This was really fun to have you both.
Thank you so much.